All right, I saw my mistake, and I think you saw it too. So let's stop, rewind, play. Went back up here. -2 divided by -2 reduces down to. All right, I saw my mistake. Again, these things can creep on in without lots of practice on that. I was looking at this value here, and so I have a negative out front, -2 times that. So there should be a negative out front. So I should have a negative right there. I lost track of this little negative right there. So my x value really is a -1. And if that's the case, then I have 1 or minus -1 squared minus 2 times a -1 plus a 1. So this is a -1 plus a 2 plus a 1 produces a +2. All right, woo, there's my vertex. -1 and +2. All right, what do we do next? Well, next we look for any of its factors, or where does it cross the x-axis at? So we can solve that by factoring, by completing the square, using the quadratic formula. In this case, let's use the quadratic formula. If we remember it, that's minus b minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Let's plug those numbers in. So I have a -2 plus or minus -2 squared minus 4 times a, which is a -1, times c, which is a 1, all over a 2 times a -1. And then let's clean that up a little bit. I have a 2 plus or minus, that's a 4. Plus a 4, all over a -2. And that equals 2 plus or minus 2 root 2, all over -2. And clean that up a little bit. That's a -1 plus or minus a root 2. And then from there, yep. And then from there, we can reduce that down, and the values they're approximate. And so I have one value of x in this one equals minus 2.4. And the other value of x equals roughly, approximately 0.04, according to my calculator there. So those are the two places that it crosses the x-axis at. And then we want to find out where it crosses the y-axis at. And that occurs at the point of f of 0. So I have minus 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus a 1. And that all looks like it crosses at f of 0 equals 1. So let's take all those points that we have there. Let's draw a coordinate plane. Let's just put some tick marks on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to give them somewhat to scale so my graph will look somewhat to scale. And then from there, what points do we have that we're aware of? We know my graph opens downwards right here. My vertex is the point -1 and up 2. I have values where they cross at roughly -2.4, around there, and roughly at 0.04. And then I have a y-intercept, f of 0 at 1. So I have a graph that looks roughly such as that. Little bit of work, a lot of little bitty steps. No one step was difficult, but there were lots of little bit of steps. So again, it's easy for a mistake to kind of make itself in. And so with practice, working through several of these, and then like on this one, I made a mistake. It felt wrong. Well, it felt wrong because I've done lots of these. And so I went back and tried to figure out where was that mistake that I created. Found it, worked through the problem, stuck with it, and got to a final solution.